So, hi, my name is Mindy. Sorry to use my phone. I'm actually going to Folsom High School and I'm going to be an incoming junior this year. So my starter project was actually object detection with the Raspberry Pi. This actually was able to detect everyday objects such as furniture, people, and all that. And so my main project was actually a program that could detect the letters of the American Sign Language. And basically, there were some additions that I had added to it, including the Raspberry Pi speaker, which would actually speak out the letters that I would make with the pictures. And then also I had a robotic hand. So the robotic hand would also create the same letters that you could see in the American Sign Language. And I also had a Tkinter GUI system, which is graphic user interface. And that just made my project a lot easier to handle and just to access all the other aspects of it. So the reason I actually chose this project was because I've had this idea in the past, but I've never really tried to implement it until Bluestamp came along. And I've actually worked with students who had speech impediments in the past. And so I could understand that it was very difficult for them to, communicate with other people who couldn't understand what they were saying. So this project was almost kind of a Google Translate for those who have speaking and hearing disabilities. And let me share my project. Give me a second. So this is me running the code, and so this is actually the live preview feed that it shows. So the first thing that happens is that I have a Pi camera that shows a live preview feed. And so this preview feed is actually a stream of thousands and thousands of photos. And what happens is when you actually click the snapshot button, as you can see over here, it takes a copy of one of the pictures in the frames and it saves it to another file. So give it a second. Yeah, and so you can see on the left side that there's a countdown function, for the user to actually get their hand lifted up and ready in a position. And once you take the picture, it actually saves this image to another file. And what happens is that once it saves the image, this image is actually used in a NanoNets API. And so I actually use NanoNets to create my own model with the letters of the American Sign Language. And using that, it created a neural network, which is basically a bunch of math. And what happens is when you input this photo into the neural network, it'll output a prediction. So it'll actually give you a probability of which letter of the sign language alphabet it most likely is. So if you give it a second, oh, hang on. I think I need to share my sound. So I also, as I said before, I also have the addition of having it say the letter.
Hey.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you. So here you can see on the Tkinter GUI, you actually can see the letter that it should be. Here this is actually what the NanoNets API outputs, this image, and then it might take some time, but I actually moved away these screens. And so you can see this is basically what the neural network outputs. And then moving on to my robot hand. So I actually created a menu bar. And as you can see up here, it says robot hands. Once you click it, a new window actually pops up. And a second, yeah. So this window actually has just an array of buttons, as you can see, with all the letters of the alphabet. And when you click one, it'll actually allow the robot hand to move.
Crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, and you can see all the other letters. The robot hand is made up of just different servos. So for each finger, you actually have to control a servo. So for every letter, I had to actually manually control each of the servos to move to the position that I wanted them to. And yes, and that was my project. So One challenge that I actually faced while doing this project was definitely working with Python and Linux. I've never worked with them before, so it was really a new field for me. It is similar to Java, which I've worked with in the past, but definitely there are a lot of aspects that were very, very new to me. And honestly, it was a miracle if the code would actually work the first time I tried running it. But overall, I think this project was really, really fun for me. I managed to learn so much, especially in the beginning, because it was really hard for me to start off. I didn't know what to do at first. And as I was getting into it, I did lots and lots of research. And really, every failure, I just learned something new, and it was so much fun. And I think also while doing this, it made me realize that I really liked mechanical engineering as well. And just seeing software and hardware working together, it was knowing that they were so interconnected. It's like you can't have one without the other. So I think it's really gotten me interested in that. And I think I just really enjoyed doing a project that actually could possibly help people. And yeah, thank you. Do you have any questions?
Right.
I have a question. What was the hardest letter to like implement with the robotic hand?
So the hand that I actually have, it was like pre-built already because we didn't order the one that I could make, and it only goes up and down. So letters that you have to like wave, especially Z, because you just have to make the letter Z in the air, those were obviously almost impossible. But definitely one addition that I thought I would add was having a servo at the bottom so the hand could actually, move to the left and make the signs and everything. But yeah, Z was definitely the hardest for sure.
Awesome. Okay, cool.
Thank you.